Okay, we're back again today with Peter Aziz, and we're going to talk about taking your power back. Peter, can you first of all answer why do people give their power away?
Many reasons, partly through manipulation. People often taught not to listen to themselves, but listen to somebody else and give up all their worth and not do what's right for them.
So you think it's kind of,
give their power away.
So it's kind of, think it's passed on through the generations, this kind of thing?
A lot of the habits are, yes. Particularly in society when people actually learn to listen to the leader rather than themselves and do whatever the leader says they should do.
Okay. So can you tell me how then do people give their power away?
Okay, well there are many ways. First of all, through jealousy. You see, if you're jealous of somebody and you actually believe that they've got something you haven't got, that you actually give away your ability to create that thing. So jealousy itself can cause power to give away to that person.
Okay.
You can give it away just by giving in to a person's ultimate wishes and not listening to yourself anymore. People often do this in relationships. They follow a partner and do everything that the other person enjoys and forget their own boundaries. That gives a lot of power away. It can happen through manipulation, where the person bullies you or tricks you somehow to do what they want. There's lots of power in all those situations.
So is that like also image manipulation?
Yes. If somebody creates an image that you're supposed to live up to and anything else is wrong, that too is a way of manipulating. So any form of manipulation will take the power away. So
you think like adverts on the television is a form of image manipulation because it's trying to create a false standard?
It is, but that is not the main problem.
It's in a personal relationship kind of thing.
Pressures out there, but people are being pushed into something individually. If somebody's actually around your house trying to call you into a contract and you sign it, then you're giving your power away.
Okay.
But when it's on advertising, on television, for instance, you've always got choice.
Right. What about things like, like the establishment, they've used force and fear and guilt, approval, and all these kind of different ways as well?
Well, yes, so it's very forceful, very violent to be put into it. If you don't do what they want, like say pay your taxes or throw you in prison for a long time, you lose all your livelihood. That's extremely violent. So there's a lot of force being used to control you.
And also lying, the government withhold knowledge.
Yes, because in order to make the right choices for you, you need the right information. People lie to you to stop you from making your choices that are good for you.
So people are basically walking around and they've not got any real power to create their own reality because all different...
They're kept in slavery, creating what somebody else wants.
Okay. So if everything is so controlled and we are slaves, then how do you start? How do you go about creating your reality?
You start by taking your power back. Without your power, you can't do it.
And how do you take your power back then?
Well, luckily power is fluid. As soon as you give it away, you can take it back again. It can be done with simple visualizations once you know it's gone. A simple way is to imagine you picking up a stick with either birch or oak, as is a segment of woods. You draw a circle around yourself clockwise on the ground. In a meditation, this is. And you call that person to the edge of the circle, but they can't cross the line.
So, for instance, say your mother was very dominating.
Yeah.
You would go into meditation, draw the circle around you and call your mother to the edge of the circle.
Yeah. She's at the edge of the circle but can't cross the line. You see her holding the power that she's taken from you, you simply reach out and take it back. You have to struggle with her because in this circle truth prevails, so you will win because it's yours.
Okay, so depending on how much power she's got, it may be a harder fight to get it back.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do it several times. You can't get it all back in one go.
And how does that affect the person who you're taking the power back from?
Well, it actually frees them. See, a person can't actually create anybody else's energy but their own. Which means the power they're carrying they can't use is actually a burden. It boosts the ego and makes them feel big, but doesn't help them create.
Okay, so you're actually doing the person a favour by taking your own power back.
To grow.
And would that affect your relationship in the present time then with your mother? Obviously you would have changed.
Yes, because they'll change too. They no longer have power over you. You'll actually be more individual and doing what you want to do rather than what she wants to do.
So like breaking patterns of family, so when the family gets together, the patterns will have changed there, the dynamic.
Yes, everybody become more individual and do what they're meant to do.
So can you explain what our shadow self is? How does that affect our creation and what purpose it serves? First of all, what is the shadow self?
The shadow is the part of which holds on to everything that you've denied, because everything is you and you need it at some point. So anything you deny, the shadow carries for you.
So, like say you're angry at your partner, but you don't show your anger.
If you don't show your anger, what happens is you always be surrounded by angry people, because your shadow will always come at you from the outside.
So people complain about others in their lives all the time.
Yes.
And their characteristics, but really those other people are in their life to show them something about themselves that they're not looking at.
That's right. But it's only the persistent ones you've got to look at. Not everybody you meet is going to show you yourself, but if the persistent patterns keep coming back, it's time to have a look inside.
So some people might quit their job because they don't like the people, find another job in the same type
for
of
people,
personalities.
Yes, that's right. There's something they need to deal with themselves.
So that's again about creating your reality. You have to change yourself.
Yes.
So that's basically why the shadow is there. How does the shadow affect us collectively then? Do we have a collective shadow?
No, everybody has their own shadow.
Okay. So like you wouldn't say the Illuminati or the New World Order is like people's collective shadow?
There is like a sum of it. If a lot of people deny the hostility, there will be a hostile force in the world, which everybody is projecting outside themselves and say this is doing it to us.
So basically if people did all work on their shadow self, there'd be a lot less...
They'll be more in control, therefore will create the reality they want.
Right, okay. And the world would be better because they'd be creating a better reality for themselves. As well as creating a reality, we also have the ability to destroy, which nobody really thinks about. You don't hear this in destroy your reality type books,
Well, we do all the time, otherwise the life becomes cluttered. There's always things getting rid of. As you create new things, you're always getting rid of old things.
Yeah, you don't hear books about this kind of stuff. Destroy reality. Can you explain your concept of that? What you mean by that then?
It's a bit like when you have a garden. You want to have a beautiful garden, you've got to do a bit of pruning, cut out a few weeds, otherwise it gets swamped with stuff you don't want.
Okay. So to let new stuff in, you've got to
get rid of old stuff you don't want.
And what kind of things would you suggest that people could destroy?
Well, first of all, it's a case of dealing with the negative parts of themselves. If they welcome all the feelings of being depressed and let them out, they're changing. But also one has to look at the things in your life that you don't want. It could be like people who are bullying you, it could be just ugliness around you or pollution. First of all, you have to look inside to see what's in you is creating that, get rid of that, but then do something about changing it on the outside world.
So, how would you go about doing that then? How would you destroy things? Is there a ritual you could do, a meditation?
Oh yes, there are many things you can do according to what the problem is. Obviously it varies a lot for each situation. If there's a genuine negative force out there, the important thing to realise is that all groups which work together have an elemental.
Okay.
So any group of people to get together for a common purpose, there's an elemental watching over those people which keeps them focused. If you destroy that elemental, then whatever that group is doing falls apart. So if there's a group of people, keep everybody else in slavery, the idea is to destroy that elemental, so that group has no more power to affect people.
Okay. What's an elemental exactly?
It's an elemental is basically an astral being that has one side to its character. It's made for one thing, basically.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts on karma? Because you hear this a lot in spiritual things. People have got their karma waiting for them to come and bite them on the bum, kind of thing. What do you think karma
It
is?
doesn't really do that. See, what karma simply means action. It's about a process by which we create our reality and lessons we learn. So it doesn't really come to punish us. This is like a Christian idea which came into it later. Like the whole idea of punishing God and hell and so on is Christian, and that is distorted from Hindu concepts. In the Hindu religion, karma is simply the process by which you learn and grow. You don't really get rid of all your karma because your karma is what you learned.
Okay.
And so all your karma you carry is lessons which help you get to where you want to go.
So it's nothing like the general meaning that we have for it now then? Okay.
You can't not have karma because everything is karma. Karma is your learning.
So you basically use your karma to create your future then?
Yes.
It's basically...
Karma is all that you're creating and all that you've learned, all you're thinking. Because look at it this way. Suppose you're entering a river because you want to get to the other side. There's hundreds of other people going to the river at the same time. You have to very carefully decide where you're going, planning your route through all the other people. And you'll find out that how you interact with other people is important as well. Trying to kick them right out of the way is going to get a reaction and they won't like it, and it's not necessarily the best way to get there.
Okay.
And so karma is the whole learning process of how you're going to get there.
Okay. One thing you've talked about with me in the past was like, you say that the future creates our action in the present, because what we do now is so that we can make the future better. But
yes,
from what
causes in the future, everything is motivated towards the future.
Right, so our learnings what we've done in the past, and that's our karma, but our cause for where we want to go. We use the things we learned in the past, and then we navigate.
Everything is motivated by an intention. The reason you get up in the morning is because you want to get to work an hour later.
Right.
So it's like the future is motivating you each step of the way.
Right.
You're always planning according to your future.
Okay.